First of all, Uganda has a student loan scheme. The idea of the student loan scheme was for our country to be able to support students who come from underprivileged families, so that they also have a chance to education. And this is in the law that facilitates the higher education student loan scheme. But unfortunately, there is a significant departure from what the law provides in this regard. You'll find a situation where students who are able are the ones benefiting, or a lot of influence peddling is also involved. Who knows who where? There is also the element of equity. You find the loan scheme is being provided to some regions or some districts in excess of the others. And these unfairnesses of the student loan scheme is a matter that has been of concern to this particular parliament. And certainly, it is only parliament that can salvage or help our people deal with this situation squarely. And as a matter of fact, our fundamental interest is that every single year when these student loan schemes are awarded, the Ministry of Education should be able to provide the Parliament with a list of students and where they come from, so that the equity factor, which is by law, is constantly observed. Then on the issue of Uganda being a hub, a study, promoting study tourism, you are aware that in the whole of Africa, Uganda was one of the most respected countries in terms of educational system. We had a time when all students coming from Kenya, students even coming from West Africa, Nigeria, were all coming to Uganda to receive our quality education. But unfortunately now, when you go to most of these capital cities across Africa, the trend has changed. You'll find a lot of Ugandan students now rushing to Nairobi, rushing to Nigeria, rushing to South Africa to receive quality education, which was the complete opposite. Yes, and we are saying that this study or educational tourism provided for our country a lot of foreign exchange. Because when these students came to Uganda, they ate Ugandan food, they paid in Ugandan accommodation, they supported our businesses, they went out in Ugandan joints, and this supported our economy and paid fees in our institutions. But now, instead, we are sending our money out of the country. So we are saying that government is constantly looking for where it can get revenue. And we are saying, if you want to get revenue, don't only focus on minerals. Don't only focus on the fuel. No. Focus on having high quality education, which will attract a lot of foreign people. And that has always been our comparative advantage as a country. Let us put our energy where we have strengths as a country, instead of putting attention everywhere and not being perfect at anything. Because we believe that intensity is greater than extensity.
Public service with Ministry of Education should ensure that they look for ways of having recruitment. And it will be upon them also to look for placements for these students. I want to give an example on two scenarios. We were talking about interns. How can you expect someone who have been dreaming and government have been motivating and encouraging to do sciences, spending 5 years with difficulties at the university, and government fails to deploy so that he or she gets more practical knowledge in the field of doctorate? This is a practical job. You leave someone to hang on the street for 2 years, the knowledge disappears. And that's why we are getting wrong diagnosis in the hospitals. There are very many Ugandans dying silently because of wrong prescription. drugs are killing us because we are leaving our young people out without enrolling them immediately for internship so that they use their freshness from universities to get more experience. I want to give another example on LDC. This is also another practicable course. And these young people, their parents have worked hard to go through hurdles, to pay their fees. They celebrated graduation, but they cannot go to legal practice without LDC. See how many Ugandans you're frustrated. Poor planning. I was very much focused because I'm one of the parents that are not happy. You gave us hope, admit our children, allocated them to various centers, and at the end of the day, do you know how these young people had planned to concentrate in LDC courses? Because it's not easy to come out of LDC. It needs someone to prepare the mind and brain. Do you know how many things these people, these young students had left out? Now, you're not giving hope. You're saying there's no funds. When were you, where were you in your planning? As an MDA. This is something that we have to take it. And I call upon the Prime Minister as the head of government business to use a carrot and a stick. We need to help the citizens. It's true UPA have yielded a lot, USC have yielded a lot, but it's very difficult to govern an elite society. These are young Ugandans with knowledge. And when we leave them to roam around, they can be dangerous. I urge upon government to take into these two categories: students who missed LDC and the interns doctors. These are difficult courses. For us in northern Uganda, please, we know we don't have high level of education like the rest of the country because of what we went through. But it doesn't mean we are dull. If you try to see around Uganda, people from north are brilliant. Give us opportunity to explore our ability in building this country. If you see the government-sponsored students, you'll find that North is getting less. Yet they are supposed to be considered more, because most of the parents who have struggled with their children to reach that level are not many. If you see even in the loan scheme, last weekend, a boy came and presented his A-level certificate, PCB, 16 points, is rotting in the village. Yet this kind of loan scheme is supposed to help. I had a girl in my own house crying, 16 points, BCP. Now they made this girl to go for midwifery in Lira University. Why are you doing this to us? Sometimes I feel that this loan scheme should just be taken back to State House, because I'm a beneficiary of State House scholarship. I know a number of people or Ugandans that were frustrated, stranded, that they couldn't afford their education, that I brought to State House. I meet them in offices. One I met recently called Franco in a Soroti hospital. Another I met in Gulu. Another I picked from a drinking joint with ringworms all over. But when he presented his papers, I was shocked. Frustration had made him a boy of 19 points going for a diploma in clinical science. I had to pick another admission myself to ensure, but I was not in position to pay, but State House helped me and paid. So if we compare State House scholarship with loan scheme, I think State House scholarship was better. Thank you.
Naye ekisooka mu byonna biba accounting officers abaganye okugoberera amateeka ga Public Finance Management Act nga bewa obuyinza okukozesa ssente ne bava ku kye baaziweera mu budget bo ne bazikozesa ekirala nga tebafunye lukusa kuva wa accountant general. Naye ensonga ya Higher Loan Financing Board oba oyagala toyagala egenda kuddamu ebikomewo. Ekintu ekyo twakiyisa mu parliament kati bagirationalizinga naye sente zibagiwa ziganye ate bwe bazibawa terina system ezikuŋŋaanya nakumanya bwe zivaayo kubanga tebagyongedde sente. Bw'ogenda Kenya, Tanzania, Higher Loan Financing Board eri mu trillioni za sente kubanga yo erina systems. Kati ya Uganda eri wano Kampala bwe badde kuŋŋaanyiza kati bagizizaayo mu ministry era wazodde abaana basabye balinga 8 balinga 1,000 bawaddeko abaana 1,800. I think mwanga report gye batuwadde ennungi nnyo naye ekizibu kyonna ba accounting officer ababba ssente ne bazibuza lwaki era baddamu ne bakomawo nga ate ffe tugambye babagobe baani ababaweeka ku mugongo bazadde baabwe mu gavumenti kyekikulu mu byonna.